Day, or not quite. Look, what's the time? Oh, we've got 30 seconds to go. Welcome again. Last Facebook Live of the week for Friday. And boy, have we been busy with all these new members joining us, which is brilliant. Let me put the little ticker up so you know what we're talking about. Tick, tick. So yes, Full Frame Club membership, as well as our photography membership, is opened yesterday morning, and we had a flurry of people joining. And again, today we've had the same sort of thing going on. We close on Sunday. So if you're thinking about it, get on with it. Anyway, before we get started, I'll tell you what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be chatting for 20 minutes or so, answer any questions if you've got any, about managing what I would call cheap competition, because it comes up a lot. A lot of people say to me, oh, I'd love to do that, but there's somebody down the road doing it at 50 quid a go, and I can't make money doing that. That's not a problem. I have the same issues around here. It is very manageable, and it's not held me back. And the other thing I want to talk about, and it can be a little bit intertwined, is confidence. Lack of it, how you deal with it. So yeah, those are a couple of things we're going to talk about, and then I'll touch on a little bit about the Academy up there, ding ding, as well as the Full Frame Club, which is now open. So while you're sort of logging on and stuff and getting your cups of tea and get yourself ready, I'm going to put the website up. All right, let me make sure I got this right. Afternoon, Ryan. Just seen your notification come through, Ryan. Welcome to the club. Another one of the members. Can't wait to start working with you, Ryan. Beyond the Lens Academy.com. Oh, another member. We like that. So, yes. Just saw a notification from Ryan. I'm sure I did. I think it was. Where's my phone? Was it right? It was, yes. So, yeah, that's exciting. Can't wait. Quite a few people have made that decision already, who have been thinking about, you know, earning a living part-time, full-time, or reinvigorating their existing photography business for 2022. And let's face it, we all need things to look forward to for next year. It's been an interesting couple of years. And actually, that's driven quite a lot of the people joining, because some of them have filled out registration forms prior. And one quite common thread is something along the lines of, well, during lockdown, I got furloughed, I got made redundant, or had to work from home. And actually, I've decided I want to do something different with my life, earning a living from something I really enjoy doing, which is not work. Trust me, it really isn't. I think is it Steve Jobs once said, if you earn a living from your passion or your hobby, you'll never work a day in your life. It's very true. I can tell you, it doesn't feel like it. You know, I go out with, I'm a dog photographer, as you may know. That's my sort of professional business. And so a day out with a client and a few dogs in the beautiful countryside taking photos and getting paid for it, it really doesn't feel like work. So anyway, what are we going to be talking about? So one of the things, and I've done quite a lot this week, so this is obviously live now, this is me at 12:02 on Friday, the 17th, but there are quite a lot of these on this page today from this week, where I've done things to do with setting up a business, marketing your business, all sorts of different things, dealing with Lightroom stuff, about the new masking tools. If that's something that you've got confused by, have a look, you'll find it there somewhere. So we've done quite a lot this week. But one of the things that comes up a lot, which is what I thought I'd save it to the end of the week, is people say to me, I'd like to do a photography business, but, and it's either one of two things normally, like it's a number of things, but the most popular two things that people say to me are, there's a lot of competition around me that are doing the same thing and they charge really low prices, so I won't be able to make any money doing it. Or there's lots of really good photographers around me, and you know, I'm new to it and I'm not good enough, which is a confidence thing, because actually, frankly, you will be good enough. Trust me. So let's sort of talk about those then for a little bit. The first one then, cheap competition locally. Every business pretty much that's out there has the same challenge. And some of the biggest companies on the planet have the same challenge. And they weren't always the biggest companies on the planet, but they survived by not sort of succumbing to the price war in terms of becoming the cheapest on the market, because that doesn't necessarily make you any money. In fact, normally it won't. And so I've got photographers local to me in my local area. I mean, I travel the whole of the UK. So in the UK, you could say it's my patch, if you like, that will offer a photo session for 50 quid and include all the digital images, or 3 or 4 of them. And some people say to me, and I've had people in the academy who said, I can't compete with that. I can't compete with it. It's difficult. It's like, well, you can. Because the first thing you need to do is accept that you do not need to compete with it. That's point one. I'll say it again. You do not need to compete with those people doing that, because the decision to book you, price is important, clearly, but it's a part of it and not all of it. If your style and your work and your shop window is something that attracts somebody, and you've got a nice offering, then people are gonna follow you. They're gonna book you. That's what happens to me. Did you see that? Somebody just liked it. Elizabeth Campbell, one of our members. What? Hello, Elizabeth. So don't be put off by it. Just carry on. Set yourself apart. And the two ways to react to it, in broad terms. Let's do the Michelin star restaurant analogy. I often like, because I do like a little bit of food, as some of my friends will tell you. Michelin star restaurant charges a lot of money, and are very popular, very busy. Usually, you've got a waiting list. Most expensive restaurants, queue. That should tell you something. People like quality. People will pay for good quality, good service, good experience, good memories. And pictures are about that. Burger Van, and this is an exaggeration, of course, but a Burger Van down the road sets up in the lay-by, or in the disused shop. And let's face it, there's a few of them about. Is he bothered? Of course he's not. But if he was bothered, what would he do? I better drop my prices, because he's doing, a steak sandwich for like £3.99. So I'm going to do mine for £3.99. Why would you do that? All of a sudden, 2 months down the road, he's gone bust, because he's not making profit from those that will still buy the £3.99 steak sandwich from the Michelin star restaurant, but he's lost a huge amount of business for the 95% of people who don't want to go to a Michelin star restaurant and be faced with a bill of £3.99. Bizarre though it may seem, there is a correlation between what people pay and how they feel about what they pay for. A Ferrari for 10 grand, a new one, is not right, is it? Ferrari wouldn't exist. Aston Martin wouldn't exist. Luxury brands, Rolls-Royce, Range Rover. I've got a Range Rover, not quite in the same category, but part of what they're about as a brand is that they are expensive, therefore exclusive. So do not get drawn into the price war, is point one. You just do not need to do it, because let's just think of one. I don't know. Let's go Rolls-Royce. I mean, that's the ultimate example. Bentley. The minute that they suddenly stop selling their £200,000 sports saloon cars for £70,000 or £50,000 or £40,000, they're competing with the mass market. And yes, they probably would sell a few. People would buy them, but the profit would go through the floor, and the 90% of people that don't buy them won't buy them because they're not exclusive anymore, have gone. So they're now not making any money. So the product quality has to drop, and it becomes a spiral. Price matching and trying to be competitive on price in pretty much any business, not every, but 95% of businesses, is a short-term fix to a long-term death. In fact, quite a quick short-term death as well sometimes. So don't do it. I don't do it. And people in the academy, and let me show you a couple of things here, actually. People in the academy don't either. Some of them wanted to. Some of them thought that's how to deal with it. But let me show you a couple of people. Here's a message recently from a client, one of our members, who, when I first met and started working with them, I won't say he or she, so we give away because it's confidential, wanted to set up a business and joined the what was the Pro Aspiring Pro, which is now the Full Frame Club, and got going. But initially thought that the £149 that I charged for a photo session, which is what I do, which is the photo session and the editing, not the actual pictures and the frames and stuff, was what you charge, and would have been quite happy with that, and was really quite taken back when I said, no, this is what we do. That person now, how long ago? 9th of August, biggest job yet. So started last year, being established, biggest job yet, lots of jobs, £1,249. Plus the cost of the photo session. Happens. Another one here. First £1,200 sale. That was October. That was last couple of months ago, end of October. Well, 2 months ago. So, and these are all people who, when they first joined, apart from wanting all the help and support to get set up, which is what we do, which is why people join, were kind of like, well, I'm not so sure. Will people spend that much money on the images once they've done I don't know. I think I should maybe include an image free and all that. It's like, no, don't do it. So when it comes to, in summary, dealing with the cheap competition, we'll come on to the confidence bit in a minute, is don't deal with it. Carry on as normal. Do not start rearranging the deck chairs because the Titanic is not sinking in this case. What you need to do is be consistent with what you are offering. Offer it at a fair price, a price that is appropriate. I charge £149 for photo session, have done since May 2015. When did I start? May 2015. The only time I've changed that, which is after about 2 or 3 months in, which is typically what happens with some of the people I've just shown those messages. Things start to snowball a bit and start getting bookings and things start to happen and you get orders coming in. I thought, okay, it's getting busier now. I'm going to make my photo session part, because there's 2 parts, obviously, free. I'll get loads of bookings. Didn't work. Interestingly, it didn't work, girls, and that kind of underpins what I'm saying. All of a sudden, people were like, well, if it's free, where's the catch? Oh, what's going on here then? Is it cheap? What kind of cameras have you got? What's going on here? So I put it back to £149. Bookings continue to come in. So, just don't do it. I've kept my price the same, consistent. The prices that the price guide, and if you're part of the club, then we go into this in detail. Here's my, I'll move it on quickly. There's my price guide. And that's got stuff on there that's £2,000. That has only changed once in 6 years. And that was a few months ago where I just updated the digital image package. Because I wanted to change it slightly. And in fairness, I put the price up, but not by a huge amount. So if you are good at what you do, and working with us will make sure you are good at what you do, then there is no reason to set yourself apart. And there is a point at which, demonstrated pretty aptly when I went to zero, but the level of bookings that I get, and the last week or two has been a bit quiet, obviously, because Christmas is coming, people have got other things on their mind and stuff to deal with. But, most weeks I'll be out most days, let's say, in terms of bookings, and the bookings that come in are fairly regular for that. If I drop my price, I know this to be the case because I've worked in business and I've done marketing strategy for various companies, including fairly big ones. If I change my price to £49, included digital images, what do you think would happen? Some of you might go, oh, I'm going to get lots of bookings. No, they will go down. They will go up, they go down. Because people associate, when they come along to my Facebook page or my website, and they see, I just want to show some pictures. They see pictures of dogs that they like the look of, so stuff like that. They see something like that, and they go, wow, we quite like that. Or they see something like that, they quite like, or they see, what else have we got here? Look, this. They go, oh, this is nice. Yeah, good quality. This bloke's been, oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, a friend of ours has had work with him. I've seen him on Facebook. Yeah, it's brilliant. And then, so they're quite interested. And then all of a sudden, the price doesn't match up with that expectation. You will, not always, but you will lose sales. Trust me. I'm quite passionate about this because I know it works. What have we got here? Yep, absolutely bang on. I love the name, TAF. So, yep, you get what you pay for. And price equals, it doesn't equal value. It equals a demonstration of what the person who's selling that product feels about it. It's right. Think cheap price, crap product. Yeah. Now, it isn't always the case, but in perception terms, you do not want to go down that road. It doesn't work. It's not very satisfying either, because what you're doing is, am I a bloke with a camera who takes pics of dogs? Yeah, he's right here. Look, expectations for clients. I create treasured images. Same thing. It's phraseology, it's branding, it's perception. It is also so important. And it's a big part of what we do in this club. Helping people get their head around that, so that you can be sending me messages like these in a few years' time, or not say a few years' time, a few months' time, if we get on with it in January, which is the plan. You could be sending me messages like this, like that. And these are 2 separate members, 2 separate individual orders. And they'll have had several in that week. Bigger, smaller, whatever. So as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about it. So don't get hung up about the competition around you. Do not let it be a reason not to start your business. Really don't. It is not worth it. Now, in terms of confidence, let me tell you another thing about confidence, because I know you all out there going, I'm not sure. I don't feel confident. I'm not sure my images are up to it. I don't think my images are as good as X, Y, Z. Pretty much every photographer I've ever worked with has that in them. You see, I like this Richard chap. TAF, would like it? Yep, it does. Your images do the work for you. If they are of a standard and a composition that the client's interested in terms of your personal style, and they're all different, then they're going to pay a fair price for it. Now, in terms of confidence, most photographers I've worked with lack confidence. And it's not, well, it's certainly in the early days. And it's usually because, well, nearly always because photography is a very personal thing. You are asking somebody to pay for something you've created yourself as art. And for some people, for quite a lot of people, that's a bit of a thing that can take a bit of getting used to. And so just accept that to be the case. Don't fight it. It is normal. But the other thing that contributes to lack of confidence or low level of confidence is the whole thing of photography in the first place, in that it's generally quite a solace type product, hobby, interest, passion, whatever it might be. So you'll go out. I used to do it a lot. I go out and I do landscape photography, wildlife photography, be out on my own for a whole afternoon up in the mountains somewhere, down in Devon, up in Scotland, wherever it might be. I'll come back, have a cup of tea, stick some images on, might put a few on Facebook or whatever, but I'll have the images, show them to a few friends, and that's about it. So you don't necessarily have a very constructive, regular feedback loop. You might get your mate saying, oh, that's nice. But in your brain, because you've got low self-esteem and low confidence, you go, oh, yeah, but that's just my mate saying that. And that's normal. So accept that for what it is, because it is quite normal. But what we do in the Full Frame Club, as well as the membership category as well, and if you join the Full Frame Club, by the way, you get both. So you've got a smorgasbord of content that's already exists, as well as the stuff we do every week in terms of live webinars and things like this. Just accept that people who like your images, whether they're friends or not. And one of the things that we do in the academy, of course, is we've got the private Facebook group, so people are putting images in there quite regularly. We do image critiques very regularly. In fact, there's always one going on. So what that is we have a theme. Current one is weather. And there's in the academy or the Full Frame Club, there's a place where you can click, upload a couple of images, like a before and after, if you like, a out of camera and edited version with a few comments about settings along the lines of the theme. And we get quite a lot of entries, and I put those together in a presentation, and I go live and I go through them. And I give what's called critical analysis. So not, that's a nice image, or that's not such a nice image, or I prefer the other image. That's a nice image because that image stands out because of the composition is using rule of thirds, leading lines, depth of field is perfect, focus is right, color balance is perfect, whatever it might be, so that you get critical feedback, which does two things. It will make you feel better because your images are a lot better than you think. And when you get people who, to be frank, being a little bit kind of bullish, know what they're talking about, telling you that, and other members in this group, of which there are hundreds, saying the same thing, then you'll start to think, okay, you'll start to believe in yourself a bit more. The other thing, which is really important, is when you know you've got some good positive feedback about an image, and you know what about that image, what it is about that image that has made it a good image, composition, it was rule of thirds, all the things I've just mentioned, then, let me switch my phone off because it's buzzing away, then you can repeat it. If some of the images that I, for example, come to you and say, that image is really nice, I like what you've done with color balance on that, I love your use of depth of field on that, that's really making that work, you go, okay. And that's partly how personal style starts to develop. And I did a webinar about that the other day because that's quite an important thing. But in terms of your confidence, I can guarantee that A, your images are a lot better than you think, and B, you can improve them to a level where you can earn a good living from them. Another thing to consider as well, when it comes to professional photography, some people say to me, oh yeah, but your images are amazing and they stand out. And yeah, they do, but they're not hard to do if you know what you're doing. And I don't keep secrets. I show everybody how I do all these images. So, I'm obviously I'm a dog photographer. That's my thing. So here we go. There's Badger. This sort of stuff. Here's another one. This was done down in the south of France with Kaylee Greer. Yeah, friend of mine. Dog breath photography. And so yeah, I'm good at what I do. These are great photos. But I can tell you that clients, when it comes to the photo, you will be looking at these images. If you're not, so if this dog's not your dog, you look at that and go, oh, what a lovely image. He's lovely, isn't he? It's a nice dog. The person looking at that image who owns the dog, or who's the owner of the dog, will look at the dog in a different way. They'll look at the image, but they're seeing their pet, or they're seeing their child, or they're seeing their horse, or they're seeing their, their daughter-in-law at a wedding, or whatever it might be. So they look at them in a different way. And that the way that transpires, I find quite regularly, is I have, these are my two. This is Badger and Woody years ago, jumping in the river, hilarious. I get things like this, or something like this. Shots that I sort of, when I'm going through the edit, I think, oh no, this is a standout shot, nice and sharp, both ears up, amazing. That's the one they're going to put on the wall. more often than not, it will be the quirky one of the dog with his lips sticking up or his hair all over the place or whatever it might be, doing something funny. Because your client has a connection with the subject, irrespective of what it is, horse, person, baby, dog, cat, whatever it is, that you don't have. Because it's not yours. You haven't nurtured it from a puppy or a kitten or whatever it might be, or given birth to it, who's your daughter or your son or whatever it might be. And they see them differently. So they are not looking at the image necessarily with the same eyes that a photographer does. They're not going, oh, that's a beautiful image of Fido. Look at the depth of field and the sharpness and the color balance. They're just going, oh my God, it's Fido. Look at him. He looks gorgeous. They don't know why. So there's a lot to it when it comes to confidence, but I can guarantee, and some of those messages, both those people who have left messages have worked on confidence and gone up through the steps slowly. I don't know, making orders, as you've just seen. I mean, in terms of reviews, I think I did a couple of reviews on the one this morning, but these are all live, real ones. So what's this one here? Oh yeah, I know who this one is. So this is the kind of stuff they're saying about us. So, I'll leave it up there briefly. There's another one here, look. In fact, that one is one of the people who left a message, which I've showed you. Follows in earning an income from sales. I bet, yeah, 1,200 quid in one order. Happy days. So, in summary, what's included in the Full Frame Club? I'm going to go through it quickly because I'm conscious it's Friday for you. So, there's a whole lot more than what we're talking about here, but that full, limited company, sole trader, full-time, part-time, all those kind of things. How do we consider that? What works for people? Pricing, really important, as we've just been talking about. Get your pricing right so that you can make that, because without that profit, it's a bit pointless. We do this via a number of methods. So in terms of how we achieve some of the things that I'm going to show you here, weekly live mastermind webinars. So every week I'll do a number of live webinars in the Full Frame Club to the group, as well as individual one-to-ones on an individual basis where we'll have proper conversations about things. And there is a whole raft of, when you join, as Ryan's probably just found out, there's a ton of stuff, because all the stuff that we do, with the exception of one-to-ones, that is a webinar like this. If this was a webinar, this would be recorded. The recording of it gets put up into your library. So all the webinars that we do every week, if you can come along live and comment and interact, great. But if you can't, don't stress, because it will be in your library normally in a day or two, so that when you're sitting at a glass of wine in the evening, you can catch up on Carl talking about personal style. Really important. So the thing to take away from that is, this is not, although good though they are, a lot of these platforms, which is just basically a whole lot of content. This is absolutely tons of content. It's been going nearly 2 years, but it's ongoing, live, organic. So there's interactions both in the Facebook group with existing members, but me talking every week about something new, or revising something that we've talked about, or revisiting it, or doing something a member's talked about. That's quite cool. Mentorship, so that's me. You get, when you join this club, you get me helping you all the way. Accountability, you get me on your back, making sure you get stuff done. And that's quite a valuable resource, because a lot of photographers need it. We are very good at procrastinating. We can spend hours beyond the Lens Academy when I set it up. It's like, right, I'm going to come up with a name, come up with 5 or 6 names, bounced off a few people, decided on the name, got the logo done, all inside 2 days. Next step, get the website up. Next step, next step, next step. Got to be moving forward. So personal style, that's a hugely important aspect of any kind of photography offering. And we spend a lot of time in the academy working on that and helping people understand it, how to create it, and why it's important. Business strategy, obviously that's an important part of any business. So we'll help you with your individual business strategy, because it's not a one size fits all, depending on your genre, whether you're full-time, part-time, whether you're a young buck full of beans, lots of motivation, want to get out every day, or you're semi-retired and you just want to do a couple of weeks, whatever it might be, we'll make that sure that your strategy covers it. Lead generation, the webinar I did 10 o'clock this morning, was talking about lead generation and customer management. Important parts of it, how we get our customers, how we manage the process, how we convert them into sales, and how we look after them in such a way that they want to come back and are happy with what they get from us. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? But skills and equipment, we cover all of that, as well as the various skills that you'll need when it comes to handling objections, how to close a sale, what should I charge, and so on. Editing, you need to edit. I'm an Adobe accredited associate, so I spend a lot. Most weeks I'll do a live edit, showing people some tips and tricks in terms of how I do things. Portfolio creation, let's make sure your shop window is attractive enough to fit with the price you're charging and the kind of customers you want to get. Social media strategy, website creation, You know, all those things. This is important actually, because it's like wading through treacle. Constantly moving feast, that is. So that's just some of it, not all of it. But what you can see is, hopefully, the sort of sense you're getting. Read the reviews. I've shown you a couple of examples here. If you are thinking about earning money from your passion for photography, full-time, part-time, or taking your existing business and reinvigorating it, putting it back on the map, changing direction, then this is something you need to consider. Now, I'm just going to show you one more thing. Oh, no, I don't need to show you. It's on the website. If you go to the website, you'll see at the top, there's a little video of me. It's one of the lives I did, sort of outline some of the stuff I've just talked about. There's a big red bar. It says click. It takes you another page, tells you all about the Full Frame Club. And then there's a bar where you can click to join, and it shows you the pricing and how much less it is. It's 25% of the cost it's going to be next year, or over 75% less than it is going to be from next year. We won't be opening the doors until probably March anyway, I'd expect. So if you're thinking about doing this, get on with it, because otherwise you'll be missing out on getting your process for 2022 started. You don't want to do that. Doors close on Sunday night. I think I mentioned the webinar I did this morning. They do close. I don't think it's fair to sit here and say all the things I'm saying and then actually let people in on Monday. So if you're thinking about joining, get on with it, because it's amazing value. It won't be repeated because it's the first time of the launch of the Full Frame Club. So I thought we'd go a bit lively on the pricing, which we have. Finance team not happy, but who cares? Yeah, it will. Those prices will not be repeated. So thank you for coming along. Thank you, Taff, for your comments. Brilliant. Ryan for coming along, and those who've sort of liked or watching, and all those who he's done the maths. That's what I like. 24.3% of the cost it will be in the new year. Well, it won't be new; it'll be February, March time. And the reason people say, I must make sure I make this point clear. We are what's called a closed membership, so you can't join at any time, and that's not because it's a marketing thing. Although some people think it is, it's not. It's because we spend all our time working with our members, hands-on. The new club, there'll be the intake plus some of the existing members that are being there as well, who are looking to get their business off the ground in 2022. I need to be focused on the members, as well as all the members in the academy. So that's why we do it. Every now and again, we have to let new members in and go through the process to keep things going, but it's not something we do all the time. So there you go. But yeah, thanks for that. So 70, I can't do the maths, 75.7% discount. If I was you, I would take advantage of it. I really would. And it includes the photography membership anyway, which on its own is almost that, the cost. So if you do the sums and you're thinking about it, you think you might, I'll tell you what you might want to do is, if you are thinking about, oh, actually, I might want to do this in the second quarter, get joined now, because it's valid for a year, lasts a year, because joining just as a photography member costs pretty much the same, slightly less, because of the level of discount we're given. Anyway, I'm going to stop selling now. I'm going to leave you in peace. Thanks for joining. The website's there. If you're interested, let me know. Got any questions, drop me a message. Say no more scheduled lives on any specific subject now for the foreseeable. We're closing Sunday night. I probably will go live at some point tomorrow, just prompting, just to give a few people reminders, because procrastination exists. You're going to make some decisions. So thanks for your time. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks, Ryan, for joining. And I'll see you inside the club fairly soon. See you later. Thanks a lot. Bye.